What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's a big day. Today is the first day of really actually working on the Corvette and getting this project actually moving forward and not just buying a bunch of stuff for it. So in this video, hopefully today, but for sure in this video, the engine and transmission are coming out of the car. Just an update on our countdown clock here. I have 102 days, 15 hours, 2 minutes, and 35 seconds. And so the Corvette has to be done and on the road on its way to Oregon for the Overcrest Rally. Small update on the rally. Last time I said they had closed applications for the rally, and we still haven't gotten a yes or a no yet. But in a couple days, I'm leaving to go to Alaska, and sometime when I'm up there, they're gonna send out the emails and say whether you made it or didn't make it. Because of the extremely high demand they had for the rally, I think they said over 1,000 applications for like 110 spots maybe. They've decided to do something different for this year. Anybody that receives an email that says they were accepted into the rally then has 48 hours to pay for their ticket to go. If you don't do it in 48 hours, they bump you off the list and they move the next people up. If it takes you more than 48 hours to decide whether you want to go and whether you want to pay for that ticket, you didn't really want to go that bad. So it's good that they're doing it like this, and it gives an opportunity to all the people that really want to go, gives them an opportunity to make it into the rally. Let's get to why we're all here today, which is pulling the engine out of this thing. Today was probably not the best day to do this. I made no attempt to look at the forecast and see what the weather was going to be like for today until this morning. And I realized this was going to be the hottest day of the week, which is about 96 degrees, and it's a bunch of humidity, so it's probably going to feel like 100. Probably going to be sweating all throughout this video, but that's what you get when you don't plan. Yesterday, I think the high was like 78. I wish we could go back and I could do it yesterday. That would have been nice. So I, by myself, am going to get started on disconnecting a bunch of the stuff, electronics, lines, fuel, all that stuff. I'm trying to disconnect as much as I can. At 7 p.m. tonight, I sent the invite out to a few friends that said, hey, if you want to stop by, about 7 o'clock is when I'm going to be pulling the engine. And hopefully I have all the stuff done by then, so when they get here, we don't all have to sweat here for like 3-4 hours to get the engine out, and we can just get it done quick. First things first, I'm going to need to flip this thing around. And then we're going to go ahead and put it on some jack stands, get it up in the air, and then start working under the hood. Gravity's bound to help me at some point. Okay, there we go. Oh my God. That was honestly a little scary, guys, and I'll show you why. I look under the hood, and all of a sudden I see everything is wet over here. And this is all gasoline. Looks like I lost a seal on the carburetor or something. It's just steady dripping out. It's all over this. I saw that and I wanted to shut the car off, but then I was like, I mean, if I do that, then I gotta wait for somebody to come help me flip the car around. So I was like, if I can just get it flipped around real quick, we'll be good. And the car's not on fire, but god damn, it's leaking. I'm gonna take this as a sign that the engine is ready to come out. It just tried to catch itself on fire. I think it's ready to come out. All right, what do you guys say we put this thing up in the air and actually start working on it? Let's do that. We got her up in the air. We got the wheels and tires off her. We got some protective film on the paint so we don't scratch it up. And if you've never pulled an engine before, you might be wondering, where do we go from here? Where I'm gonna start is we're gonna disconnect any electrical wires. So that'd be wires going to like the coil, the alternator, the starter. Of course, we're gonna disconnect the battery before we do anything else. Any sensor wires like this temp sensor, and I literally think that's the only sensor wire on the car. After that, we're gonna go ahead and take on the cooling system and drain all of the coolant out of the car. Take the hoses off, so upper radiator hose, lower radiator hose, and then those two hoses that go across and into the heater core. We're gonna disconnect all of those and take those out. Then probably disconnect the exhaust. We're gonna go ahead and take the carburetor off and the distributor off and the coil as well, just to make sure those don't get hit when we're pulling it out. We also need to take the fan off, the alternator off. We're gonna go ahead and take the fan shroud off and also take out the radiator. Let's see, we got some throttle linkage, clutch linkage down there, any vacuum lines. This is our tachometer cable. We're gonna take that off. Also gonna take off the valve covers so we don't hit them or damage them in any way when we pull the engine out. So I've decided I'm gonna go ahead and pull the engine and transmission at the same time. So that means I disconnect the shifter and any linkage that's involved. The drive shaft, and you take that out. I think at that point, I'd be ready to unbolt it from all the motor mounts, transmission mounts, and all that, and get this thing all chained up and ready to pull. Let's get started. I know I'm doing all of these out of order from what I said I was going to do. I'm just kind of going at it and attacking stuff and just kind of working my way down. So I'll get to everything, I promise, because it's got to come out one way or other. First drop tool. Say hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
There you go. One thing that's nice about working on old cars is like there's like 4 different sizes of bolts, and that's really about it. 9/16, 1/2, and that's all we got so far. Kevin has taken the Viper creeper for a stroll. How's it going?
It's great.
As a professional auto mechanic, what do you think of the creeper?
I mean, it's pretty good. I don't use a creeper that often, you know.
That's fair.
Because lifts.
You have
but,
lifts.
You know,
I don't.
If I did have lifts, this would be a fantastic option. Oh, there's coolant everywhere now. I like that it rolls around so easy, but at the same time, it's kind of fantastic. Like it's like a love-hate thing. I don't know how to do that to cover myself.
There we go. Oh, we got more. It's fine.
The fans are out.
You get the hose. There we go. I'm just imagining that's going to be a pain in the dick to get a hose and everything back into that. They all got to go in at the same time. Kevin brought the Caddy, and Sean brought the WRX swapped 69 Beetle. Are you ready to sweat?
Oh yeah.
Neighborhood kids stopped by to check out what we were doing. They really liked Sean's car. So I think it's 19-year-old Fred left me a note. This is the back of the water pump, and it says installed 3/28 of 09 Frederick White, and now it's never going back in the car. We got it mostly taken apart. I think we just got like the
Pretty close up top here.
transmission stuff.
Drive shaft and
Transmission, drive shaft. I'm taking the fuel pump off just because it sticks off on the side a little bit. Motor mount bolts, transmission bolts, and I think
it up and pull it
I
out.
really wasn't working on it that long before you came over. Like this is pretty simple stuff.
You got the carb off and valve covers off. Right.
Thanks for coming over because it's 90 some odd degrees. I don't blame.
Kind of the worst day that's possible.
Right. I don't blame Sean for stopping by, taking a look at what we were doing, and leaving.
The drive shaft in there, right? Or just,
What's up?
you're gonna leave the drive
Take
shaft
it all the
in?
way out. Unless,
I don't know if
I could take the rest of it out if you just want to do the
I don't know
front.
if I can get to the other side. I kind of looked in the back and couldn't figure out where it was.
No, if you can just do the front, I can take the rest out later when I do the differential. Fuel pump out. Oh. This thing's got a Wookiee in it. Kevin swapped the VR6 into that thing. Well, I think it came with a VR6, it just wasn't wired, which that was like a whole issue, and he did all the other work too, so. I decided, Kevin was still plugging away, but I decided that we were gonna put it on hold for the night. It is 10 p.m., not super late, but it was 96 degrees all day, and I'm super not feeling great right now. We got it to a point where we're almost there. Couple things we still need to do. The clutch on these things, it's not like a hydraulic clutch. So you don't push in the pedal and you got hydraulically assisted or anything like that. When you push on the pedal on this thing, you are directly pushing on the spring for the clutch. It's not the easiest clutch to push in, but it's like what I learned how to drive stick on, so it's kind of normal for me. But because it doesn't have hydraulically assisted, it needs something called a Z-bar. A Z-bar is kind of like a pipe that goes from there on the frame to there on the block, and it's kind of like a pivot point for the clutch pedal. So you push in the clutch, it pushes this side, and then that side goes that way. There's a fork that goes in and pushes on the bearing, which compresses the clutch. So I need to take off the Z-bar. With the shifter, I took it all apart up here, took the top dash piece off, and we're all good up here. But there's like 2 or 3 bolts that connect the shifter to the transmission, and we got to disconnect those to make sure the shifter doesn't go with it. I already disconnected the linkage that goes from the shifter to the transmission for the forks, but I still have to disconnect the shifter body itself from the transmission. But we're making progress. I thought we'd get it done today, but I decided to pump the brakes on that because super not feeling well. I knew we'd be out here for at least another hour, and I wasn't feeling that. So I'm going to plug away on this a little bit tomorrow, and then the day after that, I should just be to the point where it's basically take like 2 or 3 bolts out and the engine comes out. But I want to make sure at least one other person's here to like be under the car, look at a different angle at something, so I'm not breaking stuff while the engine's coming out. See you guys later. Welcome back, guys. So it is not the next day. It is actually 2 days later. I'm gonna move my toolbox here. Yesterday I did some stuff around the house, ran some errands, and then I had to make a 7-hour errand, I guess you could call it, to Kearney, Nebraska to pick up Whitty because we're leaving for Alaska tomorrow. So I had to do all that, and it was hot out, and I just didn't get around to working on the car. But today I'm out here and we're gonna try to get this thing pulled. Again, we got most everything disconnected and undone and all that stuff. You know what? We're gonna take you under there and see what it looks like under there. All right, let's show you guys what the underside of a C2 Corvette looks like. Oil pan, bell housing, transmission, and we got the exhaust pipes right here underneath. They're disconnected from the exhaust manifolds up there. And then if you come back here, I don't know how well you guys can see this or not. The pipe slips in right here. Now, I would like to think that I could get this pipe to slip out and just get it out the way that way. If not, I did get a Sawzall and a brand new blade so I can cut this stuff out if I need to. But this is what we're looking at over here. We got the shifter up there. I think I just gotta remove the exhaust here and there. And this mount maybe. I tugged on these for a little bit, and they are good and rusted together. They are like a one piece, pretty much. So just cut it off right there, and just pull it through the frame, and we should be good. And again, it's just gonna pull right out. Look at all the space we have now over here. So much room for activities. Now we can probably get to that shifter a little better. From looking at this mount, I think to take that off and get to the stuff up there that I need to get to, gonna have to get the jack under here, support probably the bell housing, maybe under the transmission right here so I can still work right here. All right, that's the transmission mount right there. It's all the way out. All right, without the tranny mount in there, you can see all the stuff. I just got to disconnect the shifter itself from the transmission, what I think is like 2 bolts, and that's it. All right, we got 1 bolt out. I forgot to film that part. It wasn't very interesting anyway. Undo that bolt right there. Slip the shifter this way, and that should disconnect everything shifter-wise from the transmission. You know what? I could probably do that bolt from up there. I could totally do this bolt from the passenger compartment. Oh. Oh, I can't. Holy shit. I totally just undid this bolt from up there, this bolt right here, and then was able to take the entire thing out. Yeah, no cables here. You actually feel it when you go into a gear. So this was the exact car that I learned how to drive manual on. So that shifter and how that linkage shift feels, it's like I'm really partial to it. It's a good feeling shifter. Now that the shifter's out, I legit think I just got to take a couple motor mount bolts off, and I think this thing's ready to go, guys. I just remembered I got to disconnect the Z-bar, which looks simple enough. Come here, baby. There we go. Z-bar is out. And it looks like these little ball joints inside the Z-bar are pretty worn. Maybe a new Z-bar is in store for this thing. I don't know if I'm wiping stuff on or off my face. Is that it? There's gotta be other stuff. I keep forgetting little stuff, but I think that's it after that. All right, to my knowledge, there is no bolt, wire, anything attaching the engine to the rest of the car. If I did it right, it should just be chilling there in its cradle, and then the tail housing of the transmission is being held up by the floor jack. But I am gonna wait for at least one buddy to come over before I pull it, because like I said before, I don't want to like start pulling it and have it like be dragging on something or something still hooked up and I can't see it. It's always good to have 2 people there when you're pulling an engine, in my opinion anyway. But I can still hook this up to the intake and get it ready to go. I got the leveler hooked up. Thank God I have a 2-ton jack because I'm all the way on the end here with 1/2 ton, which is still 1,000 pounds. Still plenty for this. You guys might be wondering what this is. This is a leveler, load leveler, as you can see. Basically, by spinning this bolt right here, it moves this mount this way or this way, so you can either tip the engine this way, like we're gonna need to do to get the transmission out of there, and then level it back out to bring it over the nose of the car. I believe Kevin is on his way, but while we wait for Kevin, I just ran inside and I got these delivered. These are going to be my fire extinguishers for the Corvette. I got 2 of them. I don't need 2 of them, but I figure if I'm going down the road and I see another guy on fire that's doing the rally or something like that, I can throw one of these to him. So I wanted something small because there's not a lot of room in the Corvette, and I found these. They're called Element Advanced Fire Protection. It looks like a road flare, but it's not. But you kind of light it the same way. They call it the E50, so Element 50. And 50 means it lasts for 50 seconds. 50. Almost a whole minute. You light this thing, it's got 50 seconds of firefighting power. And it's a no-mess deal, too. So I could spray it on whatever, and it's not going to mess stuff up. I don't have to clean it up. I do have one of these in the garage, but if you've ever used one of these before, you'll know that once you pull that, you have 10, 12 seconds maybe, and it makes a mess. These things, 50 seconds, 50, no mess. It's literally the size of a road flare, so you can just throw it in the back there and just have peace of mind, which is exactly why I got these. Kevin's here. moving.
Or just...
I think it's like it's trying to pull it this way because this is as far out as the jack goes.
It's just caught in the mounts. Yeah. So just keep going up with it.
Well, it's the trans is hitting the tunnel right now. There it goes.
Yeah, let me let the jack down.
Oh.
There off the jack.
Actually, coming pretty easy.
So once we get the crank past there, then we should be able to go up some. I guess it's quite a good train.
How are we looking?
They're pretty level. Just up with it, a couple more bumps.
You want to level it out a little bit?
Did it.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
Didn't hurt nothing.
No?
God, that looks weird. I think the engine's
Have you ever seen the engine out?
no,
You
never.
Okay.
Never ever. And I'm 35. The engine's probably have been in there at least 50 years.
You got a big hole. You gotta fill it with
They're
some horsepower. I mean, overall, it wasn't too bad.
Cheers.
Cheers. I guess I should look at it first.
Well, just got everything left to do.
Just gotta continue taking it apart and then put it back together.
You know, I've always said that this engine is not numbers matching, but I've literally never actually looked.
Right, yeah.
And since it's out,
We might as well.
we might as well look it up. It's not going to be numbers matching, but we're going to look.
Or it would be. 5101216.
No, I don't think so. Wait, 10. No. All right, not numbers matching. I didn't think it was, but it's not numbers matching. Still a 327 made between 62 and 67, which I kind of knew, but
Yeah. It's a period correct engine, I guess.
period correct engine. We're going to go with that. That sounds not as
Yeah,
bad as
right.
not numbers matching. Shout out to Kevin for coming over and helping pull the engine. He came over a couple nights ago and he just came over just now. He literally just got off work, came straight here to help me pull the engine. So shout out to Kevin. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm sure he's going to be helping me with a lot more stuff because he seems to enjoy working on it, and I like having company working on this stuff. So, all right, guys, that is going to go ahead and do it for this video. Actually, no. Nope. I did not give you guys a garage door race last time. I felt bad about that because somebody commented that they came just to watch it. I didn't have one, so I'll do one right now. That one's going. That one's going. Boom. We got to hit the ground at the same time. I haven't won a garage door race in a while. I feel like I'm due at this point. Anyway, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. This was a huge step in the progression of getting the Corvette ready to go to Oregon in October. And just to update on the countdown clock, I have still triple digits, 100 days, 11 hours, 27 minutes, and 52 seconds till this thing needs to be on the road to Oregon. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you get a notification every time I drop a new video. And we will see you guys in the next one. Later.